Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we'll be exploring a small but fascinating piece of Australian coinage history, the 1975 Australian 2-cent coin. At first glance, it might seem like just an old piece of bronze, but when we look deeper, this coin tells the story of Australia's decimal system, its wildlife, and its everyday economy in the 1970s. Even in circulated condition, it is a coin that carries character and history. The introduction of the coin. The 2-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, the year Australia officially moved from the pound to the decimal system. For nearly 3 decades, it was part of daily life, used in shops, on buses, and in small change transactions. By 1975, the coin had already been circulating for almost a decade, making it a familiar sight in the wallets and purses of Australians everywhere. Obverse design. On the obverse side of the 1975 coin, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Arnold Machin. This design was used on Australian coinage from 1966 through to 1984. The Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a portrait that was instantly recognizable across many Commonwealth countries at the time. Around the image, the inscriptions read Elizabeth II and Australia 1975. Reverse design. The reverse design is perhaps the most iconic feature of the 2-cent coin. It depicts the frilled neck lizard, a unique reptile native to Australia, captured mid-display with its dramatic frill fully extended. This design was created by artist Stuart Devlin, who served as the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The frilled lizard was a fitting choice for the coin, symbolizing Australia's distinctive wildlife and natural heritage. Coin specifications. The 1975 2-cent coin was struck in bronze, composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighs 5.2 grams and has a diameter of 21.6 millimeters. The coin has a plain, smooth edge, and when freshly minted, it had a bright coppery appearance. Over time, these coins often darkened to shades of reddish-brown or even chocolate tones, depending on how they were stored and circulated. Circulated condition. In circulated condition, a 1975 2-cent coin usually shows plenty of wear. The Queen's portrait may appear softer, with much of the fine detail in her hair worn smooth from handling. On the reverse, the lizard's frill and scales often lose their sharpness, leaving a flatter appearance. Scratches, rim marks, and surface discoloration are very common. While this may lessen collector value, it adds a certain charm, as every scratch and worn detail reflects its decades of use. Everyday life in 1975. The year 1975 itself was a memorable period in Australia's history. Politically, it was the year of the constitutional crisis that changed the landscape of government, while socially and culturally, the country was continuing to grow and evolve in the modern world. For everyday Australians, however, coins like the 2-cent were simply part of daily transactions, used to buy newspapers, snacks, or small household items. This coin was the smallest part of everyday life that kept the economy moving. The decline of the denomination. Despite its usefulness in the 1970s, the 2-cent coin's days were numbered. By the late 1980s, inflation had reduced the value of both the 1 and 2-cent coins to the point where they were no longer practical. In 1992, both coins were officially withdrawn from circulation, though they remained legal tender. The 1975 issue, therefore, represents a middle chapter in the life of the 2-cent coin, well before its decline, but after it had already become a daily fixture in the Australian economy. Collectability. From a collector's standpoint, the 1975 2-cent coin is considered common. Millions were produced that year, and in circulated condition, most examples hold only a small premium, if any, above face value. However, uncirculated examples, proof issues, or coins with striking errors can be more desirable. Many collectors keep the 1975 coin simply as part of a complete year set or as a nostalgic piece from a time when these little copper coins still jingled in people's pockets. Conclusion. In conclusion, the 1975 Australian 2-cent coin in circulated condition may not be rare or particularly valuable, but it remains an important part of Australia's numismatic story. From its iconic frilled lizard design and elegant Queen's portrait to its role in everyday 1970s life, this coin is a reminder of how even the smallest denominations played a big role in shaping daily experiences. Today, it stands as a nostalgic keepsake, a little copper piece of history that continues to connect us to Australia's past.